Welcome back to another behind the scenes video where I tell you how I make my music. And this time it's a 8-bit shippy kind of tune, and it's made here in MilkyTracker. So I thought I'd play you the song first, and then I'll tell you my thought process and show you the basics of this software. So here we go. Yeah, and there it starts over. So in the episode which I wanted to write this music, we met the slime mob in Minecraft, which is kind of funny looking, funny sounding, but can also be deadly if they group up on you. But because they look the way they do, they are very squarish. Of course, it's Minecraft, but you would think of them as maybe round elsewhere, but this is squarish, and especially when they move up ladders, I really get that old video game feeling. So I wanted to write something in the 8-bit genre. And this software, MilkyTracker, is I like it. It's kind of easy to use once you've gotten used to the basics, and you can use it on any computer, PC, Mac, or anything you can imagine, and it's free. So instead of going into one of these advanced softwares, you can, I don't know, it's another way of thinking. You get other ideas, I think, when you work in this software. And you can also make sounds of your own, which I really like. So all these instruments here, for instance, are kind of made by me. If we have a look, open the sample editor, you can see this is just a triangle sound wave, and there is a very nice generator for this. Just choose one of these square types. Actually, let's do that. We can make a new instrument here. Choose new and 64. I think it's a good size for just one of these waves. Let's go into the generator. Start with a triangle, which is the first base. And we just want one period. Like that. And at first it's no sound. You need to loop it. So now you get this nice overtone rich instrument. I really like this one. And we have the other common ones. And already you can feel the 80s coming to you, right? The square sounds like this. And the third one, also very common, is the sawtooth. And the nice thing about these is that you can actually draw yourself. So you can change it a little, maybe soften it. You can hear the change in timbre. So yeah, I really like this about this software. It's so easy to work with these basic sound waves. So if you go through these, the bass is just the regular triangle sound. The snare is a little more complicated. This is white noise, and then a square wave, more noise, and a much softer square wave, and ends with a little more noise. Get this kind of sound. The chords, really soft and nice. I'll tell you later why it's called chords. Soft sawtooth, that's kind of what we did earlier. Hi-hat. Just noise with a little space in between. The kick. I kind of just make this sound with my mouth first. Like, how does it sound? Like that, I test. And then I try to draw it the way I think it should sound. What I'm doing, by the way, is just playing this sound on the regular computer keyboard. I've been told that's the way you should do it. I did actually make music in one of these tracker softwares in the early 90s. They were very popular then. I made my first tunes on the Amiga back then. But let's go through all of these. We have the lead melody, the left channel, and in the right. And they are, if you compare them, they are almost the same. It's a square wave, but it changes the sound depending on where you cut it. This is another favorite. And here I actually put on, this is the instrument editor. By the way, you can put on this automatic vibrato. I usually don't do that, but in this particular case I thought that would sound nice. And another snare to give it kind of an echoey feeling. You see the noise gets thinner and then comes back, and kind of it fades out. And this is what happens in the middle of the song. It's an instrument, but it has this kind of attack in the beginning that you can find in early video games instruments. So the tracker, as you saw, the music is moving downwards instead of from left to right. All these numbers and figures are put into patterns. These are called patterns. So this is one pattern, and then it goes on to the next one. And here you put all the information about which instrument that is going to be playing. Like here's instrument number 1, which is the bass. And what note it's going to be played and in which octave. The green ones are for the volume, and these are different commands you can use. This is, for instance, a slide upwards. If you remember, the song starts with that kind of slide. This is vibrato, and yeah, so on. And if you noticed, if you looked closely, you can see it changed it up here. This is the main control. So 0 in computer language means 1. So the first pattern, pattern 0, is number 2, and this is pattern number 2. So after that, pattern number 1 is going to be played. After that, pattern number 0, and then pattern number 3, and so on. Here's the title of the song. It's called Bouncy Beauties, and it's about slime, nothing else. Okay. The tempo of the song, 88 BPM, and the speed is a command that you can change if you want. I actually did that. Well, let's have a look at that right away. It's in that middle part, this part. Let's see. If we go down here, the command to change the speed is F, and here we change it to 3 instead of 6. That means it's going to double the speed, so you can fit twice as much information in here. So if we play this pattern, you can see it suddenly starts moving faster. Now it's speed number 6. And look now. So that's a trick you can use if you want the music to go faster, or you want to fit more information on these rows. What else? Yes, let me show you the special thing you have to do working with chords. Let's find a good example. I think this column here. Yes, now it's soloed. Let's have a listen. that kind of a bubbly feeling that you recognize from retro games or very old games. Because every channel can only play one sound at the time. You can't, for instance, put the piano here and play a chord of 4 notes. That's impossible. So what you have to do is to play the notes in the chord really fast. So the way you usually do it is take 3 notes and you play them like an arpeggio. You have the first note, then the second note, then the third note, then back to the first note, second note, third note. And if you play that really, really fast, you get this effect. So first, the 0 means arpeggio, this function. The 5 means 5 half steps up from this B natural note, and the C means 12 half seminotes, half notes. I'm confused, it's a little different in Swedish and English, but yeah, 12 half tones, I think that's what you say, from B. So well, let's take the next one. It's a more common one. If we pull up the instrument editor here, we have a G. So that's here. If we go up 4 half notes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we have a G and a B. And we'll go up 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you can see we have E, B, and G, which is a E minor, but you start on the G instead of the E, if that makes any sense. So let's take one more example in case you are interested. Maybe this one. You have a D sharp. Let's say it's this note here. We'll go up 4 half notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a D sharp, or I should say E flat. But in this program you must write D sharp. And then up 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have an E flat major chord. These 3 tones go back and forth all the time. So in context it sounds like this. Okay, what else should I tell you? This pattern was the first I made. You can tell by it's called 0, 0. So this is the one I started with. I knew I wanted this kind of bouncy styled bass, and then I continued to finish the chorus here, the main melody. And I like to do it that way, because if you want to do an intro that is building up, you can just copy this pattern and then you can scale off instead. So if this is what you're building up to in the third pattern, you can see here 1, 2, 3, and it will sound like this. You can see we have the melody here, and we have kind of another melody that call and response kind of way. And if we go back here, we scale some of it off, so no melody, just I think it's just the rest of it. And if we scale even more off of it, we get this kind of perfect intro. And then you can build up more and more. Feels natural. And more of it is, it feels like it's added, but we've really done it backwards and scaled off instead. That's the way I like to do it. So I think I've covered most of what I was planning on saying. If you have any questions, just comment below and I'll try to answer. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.